welcome to another episode of Parental Guidance with the Base Fam. Of course, I'm Ian.
And I'm Taylor.
Man, we are so excited for this episode, right, Tay?
Yep. We're very excited.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Good.
Excited for this episode. Grateful for a new day.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Man, Medellin is so beautiful. Always sunny. It's hot today, though, right? Feels hot?
Yeah, it was sweating when I was getting ready.
So what you been up to, man? What's new in your life? The life of Taylor?
Nothing new, actually.
Nothing?
Going to school. I don't do anything
Last
else.
night was we went to a play last night.
Yeah,
really
we
awesome.
went to a play.
Shout out to Mateo and La Parla. Let's shout them out, man. Mateo and La Parla. They did such an amazing job with their play. It was just, your mom was crying the whole time. She was crying this morning too.
She was still crying.
Shout out to Babe. I know you're gonna watch this later. Shout out to you. Got into your feelings. But that's cool. It was such a great play. I didn't understand anything really. I did kind of, but not really. So that's why I was just like, what's going on? I was just like, but the acting was really good. The theatrics of it, I guess, if that's what you say, were really good. So that was cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that said,
what are we gonna do today?
Today is Q&A episode of Q&A questions.
So we put on our story.
Yeah.
We put in our story Q&A, so we're going to be responding.
Yeah. So some of you have asked some questions. Say you want to read. Oh, by the way, my braids hurt. Everybody knows I got some braids on.
Look, turn around.
Yeah, buddy. Here in Colombia they go nueva look.
No, look.
Nueva look. My new look now, just for the week.
Okay, so our first question.
Yeah, we can't say the people's names. Why are you laughing, bro?
Okay, our first question is, what's the biggest challenge parents face when raising teenagers today?
I think that's a good question. Whoever asked that, the biggest challenge for raising teens, I think, is really like the world has changed technologically. I think we kind of talked about that in a different episode, but technologically. So you have your teens, I think, always comparing themselves to like just people in TikTok. I think we talked about that with identity. Like you're like, I remember you always asking me like, do you think this girl's prettier than me? Or I think even Maddie used to say that to me when TikTok came out, or what was it called, Musically before? Mm-hmm. I never really heard you ask that. I know you've asked that. You're like, do you think this girl's pretty? And I go, no, you're pretty. And I always tell you you're pretty. So I think you have to worry about your kids feeling some type of way, like not feeling pretty enough, good enough, smart enough, cute enough, body shaming almost in a way too, with technology, with social media and TikTok and all that stuff. So that's, I think, one of the toughest challenges raising a teen now. I mean, I didn't raise a teen in the 90s or because I was a teen myself. The 2000s, you guys were still young. So 2010s with Maddie, and now you and Ava in the later 2010s, and now in the 2020s, you, Caleb, are teens. So I just think technology, I would say, is probably one of the hardest obstacles of raising a teen now. But I think it doesn't change. I think teens are teens. Teens are hormonal. So you parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. They're hormonal. They're crazy. They feel one way one day. They feel the next. They're almost bipolar teens in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes Taylor is just like so sad, and then sometimes she's just so happy. So teens are teens. I think the hardest for me is going from like them being like kids to teens. Like that, I talked about that before. Seeing Taylor or Eva or Maddie or even Caleb now, like he's grown up. It's kind of like they're like more mature. They're not like kiddie anymore. They want to be independent. They want to like do their own thing. So to me, that's one of the hardest things raising a teen. It's kind of like, well, they're not kids anymore. Besides the technology part.
Do you wish I was younger?
Nah, I mean, you gotta let life take its course. I miss you being younger, and I miss you being a baby. or like a little kid and be like, "Daddy,
You loved
hold
me
me."
more and more when I was a baby.
No, I love you the same, even more now. Stop, stop trying to, stop trying to catch me and saying something wrong.
Okay, next question.
No, you gotta answer. You gotta ask one of your questions. I'm sure there's one of your questions there. You gotta answer a question too. You know.
No, but there's like random questions.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
How has your perspective on parenting teens changed since starting your podcast? I can respond this one.
Well, you're not parenting though.
Yeah, but I'm the teen. You know, we work together.
Okay, go ahead. So answer it.
Okay,
Taylor.
so my perspective on parenting teens has been since day one communication.
Yeah.
Because we would always have like family meetings, but I never saw it as like important. I thought it was just like, yeah, whatever. Like we talk about stuff. But when we started doing the podcast, I think I saw like the big importance of like actually talking about things. And so many people come up to me and say like, it's so good that you and your dad like do those podcasts and are able to talk to each other and share things and like have trust in each other. So I think that's one of them.
Yeah, I think even from I remember it was so crazy. I think it was the first episode of this. Yeah, and I remember you guys we were talking about like us being missionaries in Colombia and how you and Ava would like talk to each other and hated the fact that me and your mom just got an apartment. And like that taught me right then and there about like parenting. Like my gosh, like I learned something from the podcast that I didn't even know that you guys were mad that we didn't take you into consideration. We just got an apartment. We didn't talk about it with you guys. So just with that, I think has helped me. And I told my wife Jess at the time. This was earlier when did we do the podcast? Like July last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her, babe, like I learned something from the podcast. Like they were mad at us. They didn't take us into consideration, and they have such a right gripe about it. Like they have a valid. It's valid. You know, like it was valid. Like you know, you see young kids say, yeah, that's valid.
Yeah,
That's valid. So for me, I think that communication, talking, has really, really, really been like the main topic of this podcast that we're doing. It's so funny because like you know, me and my wife were just talking about this morning having breakfast. Like usually families don't speak. Like especially if it's a tough topic, if it's about drugs, sex, dating, puberty, boys, girls, or even sometimes getting in trouble. We talk all about that stuff, right? Okay, you want to tell the audience I'm not lying?
What that we talk about?
All that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because
and sometimes it's so funny. Like we just start laughing.
Like serious topics. We just
sometimes laugh.
My dad just makes like just says something like funny, and it's like we don't always have to be serious. Like we can talk about things at the same time, like communicate and laugh, and then be serious.
Yeah.
Also be like spiritual.
Yeah, like yesterday we were talking about what were we talking about yesterday in the cafe?
Emotional intelligence.
Again, right? And it was funny, but it also wasn't funny. It was like of course Caleb. Mix. Yeah, it was like a mix. It was like because there's always a time for everything. There's a time to laugh. There's a time to be sad. There's a time to be mad. There's a time to be happy. There's a time to be angry. There's a time to be joyful. So I think, but there's also some times where you could talk about serious things and sometimes joke about it, but sometimes also be serious about it. So I think communication to answer that question is really, really important. All right, third question. Ooh, this one's definitely for Taylor. It looks like a super fan that asked, Taylor, why are you so beautiful? Where did you get your good looks from? What the? Answer it, Tay. Why are you so beautiful?
I'm not responding that. I would say mostly my mom. My dad wasn't. He was.
You said mostly my mom. Thank God for my wife.
If not, I would be chopped right now.
You'd be chopped.
Yes, I would be chopped.
You'd be chopped. Okay. That's your answer.
I don't like those super fans.
I like those super fans.
Ugh.
Um, Taylor and Ian, you guys have great style. Where does your style come from? I think we kind of talked about that. What?
I don't think they were talking
Oh, really? They were talking about
about.
me?
Sorry, guys. Oh no,
Where do you?
yeah, yeah.
I think we talked
Taylor
about
and me.
that. I think we talked about that in one of our old episodes.
In the clothing
Yeah, like
episode.
about talking about clothing. But like, I like to be different. So for me, my style in clothing is like I like to be different, but I also like things that I see. But I kind of put my own twist to it. So if I see something, I won't necessarily bite off that style, but I like, oh, I like that style, but I'm gonna do my own twist to it. You know. So the way I wear my hats, the way I wear my glasses, my shirts, my pants, whatever, my shorts, my sneakers. I'll put my own twist to it. I mean, you can't really do anything with the sneakers unless you're making your own sneaker. But I did create. I don't know. A lot of people know this. I did create a redeem line back in the United States.
Yeah, you did.
Everybody loved it.
It went well.
It went really well. All the church people loved it. Even like non-church people liked it because they liked the fact that it was so cool looking.
Yeah.
I just always been into fashion and like dressing ever since I couldn't afford money. I couldn't afford clothes because I had no money. I mean, I've always loved fashion, like the way the kids dress. I know we talked about fashion. Like you love the way Tupac dresses.
I love
When you
that.
watch a Tupac video, you're like, oh, I love it. Dad, is that the way they
And
used to dress?
Jessica, what's her name? Jessica
Alba.
Alba. I wish I
Honey,
dressed like her, but I don't.
you're so funny. No, but like, so
No, I like that style. I like
so
that
where do
style.
you get your style? Where do you get your style from? Besides, I know we kind of talked about like fitting in, like in the U.S. the way your style was in the U.S. versus the way in Colombia. But where do you get your overall tailor dressing style?
I don't know. I just change my clothes a lot when I'm getting ready. I just change. I put something on. I change my shirt or I either change my pants. So I don't know. Like I just put anything on. Like sometimes I wear a dress, but then other days shorts and other days jeans. Like I don't have a certain style. I don't inspire my outfits on anybody. I just
Do your own style.
yeah.
So you see something you
Anything
like.
that I feel looks good on me. And it depends on the day because
So
if
you
it's
don't look like I used to look at rappers like when I used to dress like Wu Tang. Really, I used to love like their leather jackets over the hoodies, baggy pants, Timberland boots, or some type of high tech boots. Like I used to look at rappers. You don't do that.
mm, no, I feel like because the rappers I listen to are boys, so I'm not gonna be dressing like them. You know what I
No,
mean?
but like girls,
Like Jessica Alba, I wish I dressed like her, but I just think
back
that
Jessica Alba's 40 now. You mean when
when
she was like in her
in like
20s?
in her 20s,
Yeah, 19s, 20.
Christina
A million.
Milian, yeah, like I wish I dressed like her, but I just feel like
But do
it
you have
just
so those are like the girls I grew up with. Like, do you have girls that you see? I remember you were into like Charlie D'Amelio, right? A long time ago.
yeah, yeah.
Remember you used to order the Charlie D'Amelio
Stop
Dunkin' Donuts?
that. They're gonna cancel me. No, I don't look at any girl rappers right
Not
now.
rappers, but
Any
like
singers?
Billie Eilish. I know Billie Eilish has
Mm,
bad style though. I think her style's so weird. It's like baggy jeans and a hoodie.
but that's
Her
different. It's
style.
like
Yeah, I guess.
no, I don't think I do actually.
No, Carol G definitely not.
No, Carol G. No.
How about
You know who I think's really pretty? What's her name?
Kali Kanuchi? Kali Kuchuchi?
Kali Uchi.
Kali Kuchuchi?
It's Kali Uchi.
Kali Uchi, you like her? You met her
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I met her here in Comuna
Oh man, it logged out real quick.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's my style.
Okay. Good. 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 All right. I like the fact that they're also asking us some personal questions.
Yeah.
Taylor, what do you like to do on the weekends when you're not going to school? Like, what do you like to do?
Um, why are they asking that, bro? What do I do on the weekend? So usually on Saturday, I go to youth group. Why you
you're so, you're so,
what,
you're so giddy today.
what do you
You're so
mean?
giddy. Like, yeah, good.
On Saturdays, I go to youth.
I can't laugh. My brains hurt. Like, I can't.
Lady starts going. On Saturdays, I go on youth group.
Yeah.
On Sundays, I go to church in the morning. Um, We don't really go out.
But what do you like to do? Like, do you like to go
on
watch movies? Go to the mall?
Friday, I like staying up late, going on TikTok, listening to music,
Relaxing.
sometimes hanging out with my friend if she comes here, if I go to her house. Take a walk, go out with my brother. Sometimes he doesn't want to go out with me, but sometimes he does. Yeah, I like to relax. When I'm bored on the weekends, I do like I wash my hair, I put a face mask on, you know, relaxing stuff. What about you?
So the weekends, I like to just relax. Also, I like to wake up, make some breakfast on Saturday morning, eat a lot, like today.
Yeah, today he made like 5 meals, and they all looked really weird. Yeah.
I made this eggplant kind of like omelet. It's not weird.
It looked like really
But
bad.
I did eat like 2-3 things before that. So I ate like 3 breakfasts in one breakfast. I just like to relax. Right, today's Saturday, right? We're taping this. I think we're gonna go hang out with your mom and your brother after this podcast.
Go to the mall probably.
Yeah, that's all we do is go to the mall. Just
get
walk
a
around.
Sweet treat.
Get a sweet treat. Get some donuts and a coffee.
Make my dad buy me some clothes or some makeup.
I don't know about all that now.
Hair products.
Let's not get a little crazy now. Yeah, but we just kind of take it easy. And Sunday we go to church, then cook. I like to cook at home. I like to cook stuff. I think cooking at home is so much better than eating out because me and your mom cook so much better than people outside most of the time. There's some restaurants that are good here, but I'd rather just stay home and just save money and cook, right? All right, next question. What's been the most impactful episode on your show? In season 1 and this season.
Impactful?
Yeah, for you.
Well, I think the most impactful one was the first one because I told you that me and Ava told you guys things that we never felt before in the whole process of moving. And I think that like having the opportunity to tell you guys that and to open like up my heart and like express what I felt in that time because I never did it before.
Yeah.
And especially do it with Ava because it was very special that she was there because we both went through the same thing, just like, So I think that was the most impactful episode, and plus because we never done that before. But then like, it was like so fun to start. Like that was our first one. I don't know. Like I feel like all the other episodes, they're really good and I enjoy them, but I think the most impactful one was the first one.
I agree. I think that's one of the most impactful episodes because it was number 1, our first one. I didn't even know how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
I think it went really well.
The lighting was so bad. Everything.
Well, it wasn't that bad.
The mic.
Oh yeah, the mic was the lighting was a little like very light.
Yeah.
Like you guys look like a bunch of
Michael
Jackson after he, like the white Michael Jackson. But I think that was really important for me to really understand like communication is really going to be the theme of this podcast. Like when you guys told me that you guys were mad about us getting an apartment and talking to you guys about that, it was just like a light went up and turned on in my head. And it's like, okay, that's really important to really just talk to your kids about a lot of things that you normally parents would be like, why would I talk to them? But it's just good to talk to them. It doesn't mean that they're gonna make the decision for you. It's just to talk to them and include them in things, even though you are the parent, you're the one that's gonna make the decision. For me, one of the most impactful episodes for me was, I would say like the first one of this season.
When you cried?
When I cried because like we were talking about like Ava leaving, saying goodbye. Like Ava wasn't here. Like it was just me and you, and like really just hit me. Like it was kind of sad. So it impacted me in that way.
It felt really weird.
Like it's weird not doing this with Ava because number 1, I was just telling Taylor, it's a different vibe. She doesn't make fun of me as much, and you're like, yeah,
and
because
a lot
I need
of people
Ava.
say that they miss Ava on the podcast.
Yeah, Ava, we miss Ava on the podcast, so we gotta have Ava on the podcast.
We need Ava's like spirit, her
funniness, how she like just says, "Oh please, Dad, oh please." She always says,
and then she looks at me, she side eyes me.
Yeah, she's like, "Shut up, Taylor." She always says, "You shut up, Taylor. What are you talking about?" She just shuts you down. But that was really one of the most impactful episodes because we got to talk about how it is to say goodbye to a college kid. And that really like for me to cry, and that was my first time
Yeah.
crying on a podcast. So
And my dad cries very rare.
I do. I cry a lot, not a lot, but like I cry. Real men cry. Parents out there, dads, real men cry. All right, next question.
Next question.
Okay, what is the most? Which was one of the best or funnest, the most fun of your episodes? I don't know. I don't know. I was like struggling with that question. What was like the most fun? Which episode was the most fun? I'm gonna go. The one with your mom, last season, the last episode
when
last
you were
season.
talking about
Team Mom or Dad. I think it was that episode because we were watching a short on YouTube and your mom started laughing again because we were talking about how like when you guys were young and you guys were sick and you would come in our bedroom like, oh, my stomach hurts. We'd be like, go take a hot shower. And then your mom would be like, I have a fever. Your mom would be like, take a hot shower. Or like she would give us like antibiotics from like 2015 and the year was like 2019. She's like, I have an antibiotic for that. I think that was just so much fun to kind of relive stories with your mom. To me, that was one of the most fun episodes. So how about you? What was a fun episode for you?
Fun episode?
Yeah.
I think it was the second one. That was with dating. Was it with dating?
Oh, the red flag. Like people talk about red flag.
Yeah, because it was like.
And you were talking about like how boys act so dumb.
Yeah, because me and Ava just made fun of boys in general, and it was just like funny but serious at the same time. And then she started saying stuff. Wait, and then she said a name. I think she said a name, and then she was like, she was gonna get canceled because she said some really canceled things you could be canceled for in that episode. And I was like, yeah, she half cursed, and I was like, no way. And I was trying to just not laugh in the podcast when we were talking seriously.
That's fun.
And also in the first one because we made fun of you a lot in that one. When I watched the shorts of the first one.
Oh my gosh. All you guys did was very. That's what I'm saying. We miss Ava because you guys make fun of me.
You want to get made fun of?
It's funny though. No, I don't.
Okay, next question.
Okay, this is gonna be probably one of the last questions. Wait, can you check your timer? Oh my gosh, great. That's just great, bro.
Guys, I didn't start the timer. We're so dumb today.
What's one key message you hope parents take away from your podcast? So I'm gonna do parents, and you're gonna do the teens.
Okay.
Because they didn't ask about the teens, but so for me, the one key thing is that your kids are not perfect, right? So what I mean by that is your kids are gonna make mistakes, whether they're teens or they're toddlers or they're adolescents, they're preteens. They're gonna make mistakes. So what you got to remember is, and I take this the way I look at it through my faith, is like I am not a perfect man, person, human being. God always forgives me. So like God loves me unconditionally. So at the end of the day, that's how I want to treat my kids. I want to try to be like God-like in that way. So if Taylor makes a mistake, or Maddie, Ava, and Caleb, and I wasn't like that in the beginning. I was very hard on you guys, all of you guys, not just Maddie, but Maddie took the most brunt, like I was telling you, on the podcast because she was the oldest. I made a lot of mistakes with Maddie. So I'm sure your mom would say the same thing. But I think we've learned, especially coming here to Colombia, I've learned a lot to be patient and kind. Just kind of, especially now that I'm doing emotional intelligence training on my own. It's really like, just remember that your kids are there for you. Like they just want to be loved by you, parents. They just want to know that they're supported by you. They just want to know that they have somebody in their corner. Like I remember, like my mom. I grew up with a single mom. I didn't have a dad. After 6 years old, my mom and my dad split up, and he didn't come with us to the United States. But I remember just my mom was always there for me. But that was it. Like I didn't have a dad. So like for these guys to have a mom and dad, I think they're so blessed. But they just want to feel like that safety nest of like, okay, I can tell my dad something. He's not gonna judge me. He's not gonna hate me. He's not gonna not love me anymore. He's not gonna look at me down on me. I just feel like that's what kids really, really want in today's. I think in any family, is to remember your kids aren't perfect. They just want to be loved by you. They just want to hug. I was just watching something right before we did the podcast with my wife. She was watching something, And the lady that was talking on this interview was like, she just wanted to be hugged by her dad, loved by her dad, told by her dad that she was loved by him. So love your kids, tell them you love them. So what I want you to get from this podcast is to see all the mistakes that I've made, me, articulate that, communicate that to you guys as parents. If you're watching this as a parent or soon to be parent, or you don't have kids yet, or even the teens are watching, so you can understand. Us parents, we're not perfect either. We'll make mistakes, but we try to our best. I try to be everything my dad wasn't. Um, you know, I try to be just a dad that's here. I think we talked about that in one of the episodes. Like, at least I may have been a bad dad sometimes, but at least I was a dad. I can't say that for my dad. My dad was never there. He wasn't a bad dad or a good dad because he was not even a dad. He wasn't there. So that's one thing I want you parents, to take away from our podcast is to, number one, communicate with your kids, love them, show them love. Remember, they're not perfect, and it's a growing type of relationship, and you kind of do the best you can, just and say sorry when you make mistakes. Just a couple of things that I want you guys to get from this episode and on these episodes and this parenting podcast, to talk about topics that a lot of parents either don't know how to deal with or have dealt with it and not done a great job. Not that I have. I'm just saying I can tell you all the mistakes and what I've learned. So as a teen, Tay, we'll close it off with you. As a teen, what's one key message? Which I probably gave not one key. I gave a lot of keys. What's one
You
key
gave like 10
message?
keys.
Yeah, I gave like 10 keys, like a janitor. What's one key message you hope teens take away from your podcast?
I think that one of the keys is to never stay quiet. Always tell your parents what you're going through. Always express yourself. Like, what you're going through, you're not alone. Like, your parents, maybe you don't talk to them, maybe you don't have the best relationship with them, but if you open your heart and you just give yourself an opportunity to talk to them and express what you're going through, I think it will really help you, because a lot of teenagers don't like talking to their parents because they're scared that they'll judge them, they won't love them anymore. But I feel like us teens really, we go through a lot of emotions, a lot of things, identity crisis, boys, girls,
Periods,
periods,
mood
um,
swings.
hormones, like just a bunch of things. And also, like, just, I think, never stay quiet. Like, that's
Yeah,
one of the keys. Always communication. Again, communicate with your parents.
and I know it's hard, right? It's
Yeah,
hard to be like, Dad. I mean, not hard for you anymore. Like, you'll tell me about a boy or tell me about a situation. But I think for kids who don't have that open relationship with their parents, it's hard, right?
yeah. And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of teenagers, if you, like, I don't know if I explain it. Like, if you don't have a good, let's say, have a good relationship with your dad, right? And you guys fight a lot, and it's like never some, like, just, I don't know, just give yourself an opportunity to talk to him, because if you're fighting all the time and you're just gonna be like, you know
Yeah.
what, I don't want to fix things. Like, what's the point? It's always gonna be like that. Or even with the both parents, like, if it's like that, don't stay in your room all day. Don't be depressed. Like, I can't say don't be depressed, but like, you really have to open your heart and like talk about things, because if you don't talk about things, all that is gonna be stuck in you, and it's gonna be really hard for you to be able to have a good relationship with your parents. And if you don't have a good relationship with them and you don't tell them anything, then they won't understand you either, and they won't be able to help you.
Yeah, I agree, Tay. I think it's so important to communicate. It's gonna sound so like monotonous in this podcast that we have, but communicate with your parents, teens, because if I don't know what Tay is feeling, I can't help her. It makes sense like that. I know some of you may not have a great relationship the way me and Tay and Ava and Maddie and Caleb have great relationships, but hopefully that you can have one and try to just start one and really just be honest in how you feel. I feel like sometimes when parents hear your heart, teens, they know what you're going through, they know how it is, and then they know what they've been through. So if you open your heart to your parents, teens, I think that that's going to help your parent understand where you're coming from. and what you're going through, so we can help you. We hope that you guys were blessed with this episode. Thank you for your questions. That super fan geeking out on Taylor, geeking out on Taylor. Man, we really are so grateful for you guys to watch this. Whether it's 35 views or 250 views or one day
one view,
or one day 1,000 views or 1,000,000 views. For us, for me and Tay to do this is because we love to give back to you guys watching this. It's really important for me and Tay to do this and to continue, even without Ava. When hopefully we get Ava back, but just to give us what we've been through, what our experience is, even her as a teen, as a 15-year-old teen, and me as a 46-year-old parent, to okay, this is the mistakes we've done. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our mistakes and what we've learned, and what we're going through, and what our viewpoints are. Even though it doesn't have, we're not famous. You guys don't know us. I'm not a singer or rapper or whatever. Even though people think I'm a DJ here. And Taylor, she looks like
a drug dealer.
Or drug dealer, or they think Taylor is like, what do they think you are?
I don't even know what they think I am.
Taylor looks like she could be on Disney, an actress on Disney, like Olivia Rodrigo.
Right? No, I wish I was.
But we're not anybody. We're not anybody famous, but we have experience, and we're real people. We have real lives,
and we still keep making mistakes.
Yeah, we still. Today. I make mistakes.
We keep growing. With this podcast, it has helped us.
Yeah.
As
even just making these podcasts
human beings.
to communicate to each other and talk to each other. So thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, refer us to your friends, and be like, you gotta watch this podcast, man.
I actually get so happy when people come to me and they say that they love the podcast. Yeah. That it's such a good dynamic to be able to, and they always ask me if I have a good relationship with you.
Like if it's for real?
Yeah, if it's for real. And they say that it's so awesome for me to have a good relationship with you guys and be able to open up.
Yeah. Last week about the bullying, one of my friends was saying that it was such a good episode because they were watching a show on Netflix and it dealt with bullying, so it was a good topic. So keep watching, guys. We love you. Hope you were blessed with this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Hey. Keep